The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
Thursday pod.
Hey-o. What else is there going on?
There's plenty going on, man. I'm trying to get my head around the rest of this goddamn week. We've got the Star opening literally as we speak in real terms.
What is that? What sort of function is it? Like a stand-up?
Oh no,
or
the one I'm
sit-down?
going to is a Broncos 4X function at the sports bar, but that just happens to be on the opening night of Star.
Oh, okay. So just mingle and have some free drinks.
There'll be drinks and
Do you reckon
food
it'll be
at the
dinner?
sports
Okay.
bar. No,
That
probably
sounds good.
stand-up sort of cocktail, I think
Is
they
this
call it.
the first sports bar we've had since the Adrenaline?
Well, I mean, technically there was a sports bar at the old casino, but it wasn't much. You know, I mean, it wasn't a
Fancy.
sports
A lot
bar.
of pubs and that today.
Yeah, no, 'cause-
Kinda
yeah,
like sports
what's another one?
bar-ish,
There's one at
you know.
Chermside and everything called. That's
one-
a genuine sports bar. They've
The
got
one
a,
that Mitch went to? The one...
what's it called? Buzz,
Oh,
What
okay.
are those sports bars called around the burbs? With the big, the one at Chermside has the like a massive like NBA screen in the middle of it with all the like the.
Yeah, I know the one you're
Megatron-
talking
I'll
about.
Google it. I'll Google it.
Oh my God, where's my brain at?
Chermside. Because they're big at
Where's
Melbourne.
my
Hey,
brain at?
Where's my brain at? Where's my brain at?
Sporting Globe?
Sporting Globe.
Yeah.
They're quite good, but this is good. Buzz and I was saying that what we need is one of those ones like that we're seeing pop up in Los Angeles
Yes.
at the moment at Hollywood Park,
Yep.
where the screen, you'd sit there like you're almost in corporate seats at a stadium, and everything you see, it's like almost like not a sphere, not like the sphere, but like a tiny version of the sphere.
It must be like a curved screen, you
Yeah.
reckon? Like,
Sounds good.
Yeah,
yeah.
it looks amazing from what
Because
I've
you
seen.
feel like you're there. I think that's one of the cool experiences of that. Like, you actually feel like...
Yeah.
If they gave me an option to watch that in, like, virtual reality or, like,
It
on my
makes such a
TV,
difference.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Like at home, we've got two TVs. We've got a little one out in the living room. Like you have that on, and so it's like there's a game of footy on the TV. But then I got the 70-incher in the TV room, and you put that on,
It's next
and
level.
it's like you are there. You are
Yeah.
a part of.
there's
Personally,
HD.
with my eyes now, I like just big game Broncos Redcliffe, for
Yeah.
example, Saturday. I'll tell you exactly where I am. I'm in my living room. Like watching it on the TV where I can
Naked.
see, you don't miss any of the action.
There's a 100-incher now. Just talking about television.
He was saying the 100-inch of how
under
much?
4,000 for a 100-inch 4K, like all the bells and whistles.
Are they all like about the same now? I remember like there was a big difference back in the day, like Sony versus everything else. In my mind,
Well, I'm sure Sony still have really expensive.
I got a Sony. It's beautiful.
But-
Tell you what's good,
How
Hisense.
much was it though? Hisense are very good. I got a Hisense.
3.5 maybe for a 70-inch.
Yeah,
I got
Hisense at 75 was like under $2,000.
Yeah. So
and,
Hisense
and
are
I've
good.
had that for 4 years now.
I've got a little-
It is excellent.
I think I've got maybe a 55-inch Hisense for my little racing simulator that I have at home, and I think it was $400.
for how much? How big was it?
55-inch Hisense.
When they first came out, my dad actually had built this house down on the Gold Coast, and this is going back a long time.
year was that?
He bought a 50-inch television at the time. He put it on his wall. I remember going, "It's like you're at the movies."
Yeah.
They're
Guess
crazy.
how much he paid for it?
A lot. 10 grand?
$28,000.
Jeez.
And he ended up giving me that TV like years later. We ended up having it on our house in Surfers. It was when we moved into the house, the same house that kid put the bloody golf club through.
Yeah.
It was like our backup TV. It was the TV downstairs that we used when no one would watch TV, because the TV that we had upstairs by that point, which probably cost us $2,000, was so much better.
Yeah.
Quality.
It was this thick. It was a flat screen TV, but it was still like that thick.
yeah, and heavy
It
weren't
was
they?
so heavy. We tried to sell it when we got rid of it. As part of the radio gimmick, we ended up just chucking it out.
How many years ago was that?
Probably 20 years ago.
So imagine, my question is, what on earth are we watching in another 20 years from now?
Yeah, well, that's it.
It can't get any bigger.
That's true.
Their walls aren't big enough. Like I'm
It'd be VR.
I'm saying about getting a 100-inch. Like my lounge room, it'd be too big for that. In theory, I'm too close to the damn
That's
thing.
interesting, because TVs are getting bigger, houses are getting smaller.
Yeah. So like VR, but VR. Like, how do you sit? What's the lounge room experience in 20 years from now?
Oh, yeah.
Or even 10 years from now?
What advancements has sound made in that 20 years?
Well, it's not wide in anymore, is it? Like I'm thinking back to our TV when
Yeah.
it was built
Surround.
into the
Yeah.
cupboard, a big tube. Remember the tube TVs? This was in 2000s.
Oh yeah.
So to build
square
a
ones?
deep deep cupboard,
Yeah.
and then it had all the wires that made it surround sound.
Yeah, two sticks behind
Yeah, like
you.
electrician
Yeah.
taking days to get it all
Yeah.
put in. And now it's just Wi-Fi, isn't it, that stuff? Oh, we don't
Bluetooth.
know.
I've got a Sonos.
Bluetooth.
I've got a Sonos thing, but that's antiquated now. What I've got, I've had that 5 years.
Yeah, that's a good point about the sound.
Is it getting better?
I'd assume so, but I mean, that's like how much can the human ear hear?
Exactly. And see
You
both.
know? Yeah.
I'll see.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like all about, well, at least with watching TV, it's all about clarity and clearness. You can tell the difference. I think.
But I don't think our eyes can see much clearer, can they? Is that what
Well,
they say? Like,
Well, it's as clear as we're looking at in real life, isn't it?
Do you reckon, like with the technology they've got now, the 4K, 5K, whatever it is, and your top line television, this has been my experience anyway, is that I think it's revolutionised sport. It, like totally revolutionised sport. The sports coverage, that combined with like the drones and the spider cams and everything else, we got more access to sport. But when it comes to movies, I find now the technology is so good when I'm watching a movie on the big screen, it looks fake to
It's
me.
too good.
Do you get that?
I know what you mean.
looks like a home video.
Yes.
It moves at the weird speed.
Yes.
and,
Don't you reckon?
and it
Yeah.
looks staged, and there's something
Set up.
about it that it just doesn't look real. But for some reason, I look at old movies that have got that grainy texture to them, and that helps me.
Well, so much of it's
It helps me
CGI.
believe that it's real.
Well, so much of it is
Yeah.
CGI and so much of it is fake. Like, you think about it. Like Mark
No,
Wahlberg.
but it doesn't have to be a sci-fi film.
Well, I'm
It
just
can
saying, well,
be-
CGI is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg's doing Brazilian scenes in King George Square. Like, none of it's real anymore.
yeah.
I don't know. I think the whole
And
movie.
plus, you can see every
It's
detail
so
of the
detailed.
background.
Yes.
Yeah,
Where
that's
in
what
the
it is.
past, they didn't need a background.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could be a painting. No one could see it in a Western. It would just be an old painting
Yeah,
of
I
a
reckon that's
mountain.
Yeah, maybe it's
There you go.
it's like the
That's a
depth of
painting.
field or something is
Yeah.
is in a
Depth.
higher clarity, and it just makes you realise.
Yeah.
Do you reckon
Hey,
film?
it's the 1800s, and that guy in the background there's pretty much. I think he's wearing a Broncos shirt.
That's not cool anymore either, by the way. Do you think it's also like the people who are making the movies are almost too skilled, and they're like not showing off, but like they're overdoing it? You know, and you say simple is best. Like, I think they're over
Maybe.
editing, over
Yeah,
doing it all. There's probably
possibly.
a bit of that going on.
I just feel like it takes me out of the world of the movie more when I'm watching it on those big screens.
Yeah. I
Like
agree with that.
the last one I watched in there was Beverly Hills Cop 2, the new, the 3 or whatever they're up to.
An old movie?
No, the new one. There's a
Oh,
new
okay.
Beverly Hills Cop out, and it was like, it just looked,
You know what
it
you
looked
mean?
like a home movie.
It feels
to
like you're
me.
too close to the characters or something.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
you know what I'm saying.
And you say VR, but I mean that takes you out of the, out of a group.
VR.
If you punch, you can't. If I go over to Ash's joint and with a few of us watch the Broncos play on Friday night. Okay, guys, time to put your glasses on.
Yeah.
Like you take yourself out of that social thing where you're sitting
Yeah,
there.
that's
like,
true.
What are you gonna, where we're going to be
right.
sitting in our own custom built, like dungeons.
Yeah, yeah.
In those full suits, like touching shit.
Yeah.
Like, what is it going to, how do they not lose that social element, but improve the quality?
Well, I think that might be
It's fascinating.
where. So VR, I think, will probably improve to the point where it's like wearing a pair of glasses that you'd wear just to see a standard TV. Maybe that's where it goes. But I think also like what we see in that LA bar, where you've got that sort of maybe the perspective of broadcast changes, and that's where it comes in. Like you necessarily wouldn't need a VR headset to watch a game in the perspective of like the halfback or something. Do you know what I mean? They might improve
Yeah.
technology so well that you can just via a big screen watch the game in either in a seat in the stadium or as the perspective of Adam Reynolds.
I bet your cameras will get so small that they'd actually be able to put every player will be wearing a camera.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
I wonder if they do that.
But even that's a challenge for broadcasters because as good as Spider Cam is, like you show it for more than 5 seconds in the state of origin, I'm going, get it off! I can't see you offside.
Yeah,
get
yeah.
me back,
Actually, that's
linear,
true
get
as
me
well.
linear.
But I guess that mean it'd be
You
a
know what I mean?
choice, right? It'd be like
Yeah, that's true.
you would subscribe to that. You go, I'm going to watch it from this perspective. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause
I
you
know,
can-
yeah.
I'm not like when the cricket's on. This gonna sound so lame, but I'm actually not ashamed. Whatever. When
Sounds like you're a little.
no,
bit
I'm a little bit
ashamed.
ashamed. When the cricket's on, Fox do on KO they do spider cam view, and sometimes because cricket's quite a mundane sport to watch.
Yeah, cricket, that'd work.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I literally just sit there for half an hour watching the spider cam because
Yeah.
you see the chirp going on from the keeper to the batsman.
Well, you'd watch. I reckon I'd watch umpire cam for
Yeah.
for 3 overs.
That'd
That's
be
what I mean.
interesting.
Just
Yeah.
sit
It's pretty
there,
cool,
you know,
so-
it's at
Yeah.
4, know it's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's something
Like,
cool about that.
Yeah, but maybe footy.
Probably wouldn't work
No.
because there's so much going on in such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great watching the fullback's point of view too.
That's a good-
what I mean? Like
yeah.
that would be so awesome watching. Okay, let's watch the game from a fullback's point of view when there's a line break, where they go on the final tackles of a set.
Well, that's my favourite view of watching footy. Like, I know you got your expensive seats, which are halfway, sort of midway up, and they're great views of the whole. You can see
Yeah.
everything. I love watching the footy behind the posts.
It
You
has
see
its
so much
benefits.
shape. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as the play's down your end. Of
Well,
the
that's
field.
the issue. Yeah.
Which never seems to be all you go to the Broncos.
The Ash, Lutzi, and Susie O'Neill podcast.